don't know what happened then. Hopefully you can now see me on Facebook. I've just done this like whole conversation where I thought I was on Facebook and Instagram. I wasn't on Facebook at all, and on Instagram I was just a blurry square. So I can't do anything about that, but I'll go through it again. In some ways, it's like calmed my nerves about going live in front of you all, and hopefully now you can all see me. Yes, Charles just told me I'm now live, so I feel a little better. Okay, so let's start with like saying hello. My name's Jo, I'm the founder of the Ladies Working Dog Group. As you can see, I am not a complete professional in this whole like live video thing, but I'm learning as I go along, as we've done everything else in the Ladies Working Dog Group. So, you know me guys, I like to be really open and really honest about everything that I go through and share that with you, and hopefully you'll resonate with some of you. So if what I'm saying is resonating with you and you're like, yeah, I understand, please put some like likes and loves and stuff like that in the comments. Keep me going, because slightly flustered, slightly embarrassed that I've done this once to nobody at all. Maybe a square on Instagram with 18,000 people. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about is like, a lot of people know my journey, my story, where I started with Gundog, but they don't really understand a little bit before that. So I'm going to touch on that really quickly, okay? And before my Gundogs, in 2010, I was diagnosed with a brain tumour. Lots of people already know that. And I had a huge operation, and then it grew back. And between then and 2015, when I first went out with my Gundog, I lost myself. I didn't even just lose myself. The old Jo had gone, right? So instead of the old Jo that everybody knew, like 2010 and beyond, like backwards, there was this new Jo, and every time I went out to the house I had to pretend to be the old Jo. So I would go out and I'd have to put on almost like a performance. I would have to pretend to be Jo, really confident, really happy, a bit like the Jo you see now, but there was lots of internal things that were slightly different, and it was exhausting. It was like being on stage, a bit like it is with you guys now. Everything had to be like over animated. I had to work a little bit harder just to fight my nerves enough to be out there doing those things. And to the rest of the world, I looked absolutely normal, whatever that is, but internally inside it was killing me. So when I used to walk back in the house, I used to be like, oh my God, I could be myself. And as that continued, what happened was being in the house became a far better place than being outdoors. So if you've ever had any sort of mental health issues or anxiety, like Perrott love or heart or like or something, let me know that you understand what I'm on about with this, right? So as being in the house became the easier place to be, the more comfortable place to be, I went out less. My family, my husband, my mum, my dad, they all were really worried. They were like, she's not going out, this isn't who she is. She's very like isolated. So I grew up in a small holding. I used to go out with horses with my dad, and my dad was like, you're coming out on an estate with me with the dogs. And I was like, no, I'm not. I have no interest. And he was like, yeah, you've got to come. So I checked on like the worst clothing, probably not at all appropriate, went out with him thinking I'm not going to like it, but I'll just do it to stop him going on to me, because he had a very large personality. You weren't going to say no to him. So anyway, I went out, and for the first time in a long time, I was out with his trialing dog Grace. She made me look epic. I had no clue what was going on, and for the first time in a long time, I could be new Jo, if that makes sense, right? So I could just be me. I could literally watch her work. I could breathe, and for the first time being outside the house, I felt comfortable, shall we say. So I did what most of us do. I was like, I love this. I want my own dog. So Dad got me a Cocker Spaniel pup. If I know what I know now, it wouldn't have been a Cocker Spaniel pup, but it was. And to begin with, it was super fun. I took him everywhere. He was great. As he hit like a little bit older, like I think he was about 7 or 8 months, he became harder and harder for me to work. I didn't know what I was doing. He didn't know what he was doing, but he thought he knew what he was doing. I was told I had an operation coming up, so it was January 2017, and I thought, this isn't for me. I'm not going to do this. Sold him to a beater, to a gamekeeper who absolutely loves him, and I thought, that's it. But my dad being my dad and my family being my family, they didn't want to see me give up something that it looked like I was enjoying. So basically what they said to me is, Dad said to me, take Jess. So Jess was a bit chad in his kennels. She got on with Dad, but she didn't really love Dad. He wasn't super bonded with her. Take Jess, she'll be great. Took in the house, me and her fell in love. We did fall in love, and we did everything together. She gave me confidence because she sort of knew the game, and as my confidence grew, my skills levels grew. And as all this was going on, alongside, there was this little Facebook group called the Ladies Working Dog Group that was growing alongside it. And inside there were the most amazing women, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. These women were like helping each other, supporting each other, being so kind to each other, being so kind to me. There was no such thing as a stupid question. We were all thriving off each other's energy. And whilst all this was going on and life was going great, there was part of me that was getting more and more angry. And part of me that was getting more and more angry was at the dog training industry. Now, let me say this as a caveat. Not all the dog training industry. Some of the dog training industry, some of the dog trainers, some of the gun dog trainers, especially the ones we work with, are incredibly good, incredibly wonderful people, right? But there was a lot, and you guys know them, and again, put some likes, some loves, some angry faces, wherever you want. There were people out there who were crucifying new people into the sport. They were going for them for dog training, they were giving them abuse that their dog was too much for them, that they should know what they were doing. And instead of building their skill level and building their self-confidence, they were trying to build their skill level and smashing their self-confidence apart. And I was getting more and more angry and more frustrated, because I was thinking, you're not doing what these people need you to do. You're not doing what Dad had done for me, which is keep going, you can do this, keep going. Because right at the beginning, you guys know, I know, it's frigging hard, and it's not like a little bit hard, it's like a proper load of hard, because two of you don't know what's meant to be going on, you or your pup or your dog. So watching all those women having like a really dreadful experience was really frustrating for me. I was getting more and more frustrated, and I was seeing men and women. It wasn't just the women in my group. I was seeing men getting like almost like being attacked, and I didn't like it. And I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something that had a huge impact on the whole industry, not just for my ladies, not for just the people I know, not for just the people who are listening on this, but for everyone. So on the December the 6th, I'm going to be sharing a masterclass. Like, you've probably seen some links to it. If you haven't, like, just literally pop the word frazzled in the comments and we'll send you the link to it. And this is a free webinar. This masterclass is all about how to go from being really frazzled, like we all know what that feels, to being really focused. And I'm going to do it in less than 30 minutes. And I'm going to talk at this speed because I'm Welsh and I can do that. But this is who the webinar's for, right? So if it's this you, like you really want to succeed in your dog training, but whilst you're learning your skills, you need help with your self-confidence. You need help knowing you can do this. You need help for not walking away from this, right? And the webinar is going to cover from how you get from where you are now to that point, the point you all want to go. You all are dog trainers. You might not have the label of professional dog trainer because you're just training your dog, and that's absolutely fine. But if you want to get to a point where you're like looking at your dog and thinking, I did that, and I'm proud of myself for doing that, and we've worked through all the problems, we've worked all through all the difficulties, and I'm here, just pop the frazzled in, get on the webinar, we're going to go through some amazing stuff with you. So, those who were listening to me saying all this on Instagram 15 minutes ago, if you are listening, or if you're on Instagram, if you go find that live, where there is none of my face, you can write frazzled in the comments, I'll automatically send you the link. If you're on Facebook, which I hope you all are now and you're all listening to me, if you're commenting frazzled, I will manually go through them because I'm not tech savvy enough, as you've all just seen, to get it to automatically work. And I will literally send you all the link for it, okay? It's going to be fab, it's going to be fun, it's not going to take up a lot of time. And the reality of it is, I think at the end of it, you'll be like, I'm so pleased that I went on that webinar. I'm so pleased I listened to that one thing that's just going to help me to move forward and not give up in 2024, because I really don't want that for you guys. I really, really want you to have what I had, which is that voice. And that voice now, my dad's not here, he passed away in 2019. That voice has to be inside me now. I have to be my biggest cheerleader, and I want you guys to learn how to be your biggest cheerleaders, because it doesn't matter then if nobody around you is doing what you're doing. You can keep yourself going. So I hope you've enjoyed my very quick, very fast, very Welsh live. I'm going to stop it now, and hopefully I shall speak to you all. We're doing these lives every night. I'm going to cover other bits of the topics, like other bits of like my journey, each night, 8 p.m. on here. It will be on time, I promise, because now I know what I'm doing. I know how to knock it on. And I shall speak to you all. Have a lovely evening, and I shall see you all very soon. Good night.